In today's daily news, we're going to be hopping and skipping across the globe, maybe. Let's see where it takes us. We're going to start in Jamaica, and this is a big story, at least for me, because the Boscobel Aerodrome, as I knew it all my adult life, where I would fly in and out of to do inter-island connections, has been upgraded. It has been upgraded years ago into an international airport. And there was a rift between the powers that be and others over the fact that even though it's an international airport named the Ian Fleming's International Airport, it seems to only cater to private jets going to the island outpost property there in St. Mary. The name just slipped me. I'll get it back for you. However, the news, according to the Jamaica Observer, tells us a story that has been long overdue. And it says the Ian Fleming International Airport, IFIA, and I'm sure that is not the airport code. That is so, oh gosh. Jamaica Observer, the airport code would have been fitting as opposed to whatever that is, because I would like the airport code to even see if I could put a flight in. So anyway, it says it will soon begin weekly scheduled international flights out of the Turks and Caicos Islands with Inter-Caribbean Airlines. And when I saw that, I was happy. I know I don't sound very happy. International flights, whoopee. Inter-Caribbean Airlines, okay, fine. Turks and Caicos only, alright, it's a start. So anyway, I continue. The announcement was made by Minister of Transport and Mining, Robert Montague, at a Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services 8th Anniversary Road Safety Awareness 40-day campaign on Thursday. That's a mouthful. Montague said that Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority has approved for Inter-Caribbean Airways to begin a scheduled flight out of the Ian Fleming International Airport, and they abbreviate it again in a way that really should have been the airport code. Let me just leave it at that. These flights will mark the first scheduled international flights operating out of the Ian Fleming International Airport and forms part of the efforts of the Airports Authority of Jamaica to increase traffic in and out of the island's smallest international airport. And it should be pumping more than $2 million into the Jamaican economy. And they go on and to tell us, they tell us a little background on this. Not surprising, it says, this development is particularly important because the largest single employer in the Turks and Caicos Islands is Sandals Resorts, the largest Jamaican-owned luxury all-inclusive resort with approximately 600 Jamaicans directly employed there and an estimated 6,000 Jamaicans and descendants living in the island. Noting that the limitations regarding the size of the aircraft that can fly in and out of the airport, Inter-Caribbean Airlines will offer 30-seater planes that will operate out of the airport weekly. This is also to ensure easier access to hotels, villas, and guest houses in northern parishes and further boost the growing popularity of Jamaica's northeastern region among visitors. And just as a background, it goes on to say the Ian Fleming International Airport Development Project, which commenced in March 2018, includes the expansion of the existing terminal building, the runway, as well as enhanced security. The facility, which is owned and operated by the Airports Authority of Jamaica, provides flight services to the United States and the Caribbean and direct landing arrangements for private jet owners. Well, that's all well and good, but of course, as I mentioned earlier, there were some sticking points as it relates to this international airport. My memory, while it was still an aerodrome, was that not Caribbean, the name at the time was Air Jamaica Express, which was a 45-seater plane, used to have a scheduled flight into the aerodrome. And the runway was a whole lot shorter. And of course, the carrying capacity of the plane was a whole lot more than 30 people for an aerodrome. They made it into an international airstrip. The runway was lengthened tremendously, and all the facilities were upgraded. I'm not saying this to second guess the powers that be. My only thing is the capacity that they would want us to believe that the airport is able to carry currently is inaccurate, because with the upgrade, unless aviation requirements have changed, but the upgrades would have enabled greater capacity, and the length of the runway would certainly have afforded different types of aircraft to land. But that airstrip has not airstrip, I need to upgrade my speech. That airport has pretty much stood as a cosmetic piece along the corridor for way too long. Something needs to happen to make it make sense now. Now, the news out of Canada is very interesting. Not interesting in the way some people would think, because this has been in the works for years, and as a Club Med specialist, I was aware, and so many of us were anxiously awaiting the opening of this property. But I say interesting because just this week, based on the fact that the travel time was so short, Jamaican clients of ours were looking to do a ski resort. And yes, Jamaican ski, remember, bobsleigh and all of that, and many Jamaicans live in very cold places, mastered snow and skis and all of the different things, because Jamaicans are just ambidextrous. I just had to say that. We are just good at all that we do and put our hands on our minds to. However, back to this commentary regarding clients who wanted a ski vacation. Based on the fact that the turnaround time for Canadian visas can take months, we opt to have them do a direct flight into Switzerland so that they could enjoy the Club Med property there. And so when I made a post into our community forum, several of my colleagues said to me, why didn't you just send them to the newest Club Med in Canada? And of course, I had to explain that based on visa requirements and the turnaround time, it was not feasible. But let us get into that story. According to the Washington Post, oh my goodness, and they have a fantastic caption here. It says, "Democracy dies in darkness." Never saw that before. So anyway, here we go. There are skiers and snowboarders who think nothing of tackling the myriad logistics that come with planning winter trips. The logistics can be overwhelming, from lift tickets to gear rentals, lessons, restaurant reservations, childcare, and more. But for those weary of the hassle of planning, there is something else. All-inclusive alpine vacation at a Club Med resort. And I'm sure you have seen our other videos on Club Med and the absolute great times that we have had at the Sandpiper property in Florida. With ski in, ski out mountain resorts throughout Europe, as well as in China, Japan, and Canada, Club Med has an approach that's the exact opposite of the do-it-yourself trip. No need to think about which season pass to buy or to try to find lodging deals on your own. Guests pay a set price for a full week of skiing that covers everything. Yes, I did say everything. And in my quest to piece together a ski holiday for my clients, both in Denver, Colorado, and in Switzerland, I found that it could be quite pricey, and the add-ons kept stacking up. Now, according to this writer, he or she states that they first learned about the Club Med ski vacations in fall 2019. That is certainly not my situation. And I was hoping that I could have gotten a more detailed bit of information that I wanted to share here with my listeners, because I had bookmarked that particular bit of information from my travel source, Travel Weekly, and somehow I can't find it. But the writer is giving their personal non-travel designer experience, and that's not what I want to share here with you. So I'll do that at another time, but just for you to know, Club Med has opened its Canadian ski resort. It's in Quebec, and we will be happy to offer it here at Share Fantastic Travels and Resorts Limited. We do take snow and sun into consideration. This year was the first in a long time that I did not put at least one travel show under my belt. It's important for us to do travel shows. We definitely pick up trends and happenings, and it really allows us to rub shoulders with the movers and shakers in the industry, and to present to our clients a very, very knowledgeable face of what's going on in the industry. With that said, I have tried to keep up to date, but somehow I was a tad bit blindsided by this. So we're catching up together. This new story speaks of Margaritaville, and those who just love the lazy kickback vibe know that the Margaritaville Jimmy Buffett restaurants located in airports and in certain beach locations across the Caribbean have really been the wave. And of course, Margaritaville branched into hotels. Well, guess what? Now they're going into cruises. So the caption here states that Margaritaville has announced its own cruise brand that will begin sailing out of Florida in 2022. And so we are going to talk about this. Now, of course, the memory comes back as I remember being on the Norwegian Escape and seeing the first Margarita brand there, which shows their signature statement. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And that is usually the premise on which the bars open up and serve award-winning cocktails and mocktails. So nevertheless, here we go. Margaritaville has partnered with the Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line to launch Margaritaville at Sea. It's the cruise brand's first ship, Margaritaville Paradise, and it will begin sailing from Florida April 2022, not too long from now. The Margaritaville hospitality empire has been expanding even throughout this pandemic. Wow. And so our source speaks a little bit more. Now, Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line's flagship, the Grand Classica, will also serve as the new cruise brand's first ship. And it's a collaborative concept that will add a different dimension to cruising. And this was said by the CEO, Klauser. That's the last name of the CEO, who will transition with the new brand. It has, that's the ship, 10 passenger decks, and it has been undergoing a multi-million-dollar investment and refurbishment to fit the Margarita brand. Wow. So it includes 658 cabins, which are all adorned with recognizable tropical and nautical Margaritaville look. Some of the ship's amenities include a buffet and a coffee shop, and that's not different from the typical cruise ships. The ship will also have the classic leisure and entertainment options like a casino, a theater for entertainment, a spa, a gym, pools, shopping. That's where the money really gets made. But they say the big difference is the Margaritaville branded dining options that could be recognized to any fan. So any fan who is a typical Margaritaville Friday evening lounger would automatically identify the brand. And so you will see the Prime Steak and Seafood restaurant and the Frank and Louisa's Pizzeria. Both are available at several land-based Margaritaville locations. And of course, it would not be Margaritaville cruise ship without plenty of drinking options. The ship has a branded sports bar, lounge, and 2 bars. This includes the 5 o'clock somewhere bar, which is a staple of the brand and the perfect place to waste away again. Now, early in 2021, the report came out that Margaritaville had expanded its brand with the opening of its Times Square location in New York. And the brand's expansion into the RV resorts business is also something to talk about. Now, this is where we're going to catch it for today's edition of the Daily News. There's so much going on in the world of travel as we're trying to get our feet back on solid footing. The newest report in the resort scene was that the Prime Minister of Jamaica had an official duty to decree the Ocean Coral Spring Eden Bay Resort open H10, and he did that in fine style. And so the other bit of news that we'll just gloss over right now is that the demand for Jamaica as a brand has skyrocketed, and we are with limited, still reduced occupancy, brushing close to our 2019 occupancy numbers. So things are looking good. And we're very happy. That's how we see things today right here on the Daily News.